Hello, you lovely lot. I'm Matt from Monty's, and I'm here today to talk to you about something that I completely love, which is the PAF humbucker, or PAF humbucker, or pattern applied for humbucker. All the names work. Basically, the original humbucker designed by Seth Lover way back in the mid-50s, and we still lust after the noises it can make to this very day. Now, there's tons of history out there about the PAF and all those kind of things, stories and myths and the records it's been on and the people that have played it and all of the amazing stuff that it's done. We're not going to delve too deeply into that. What we're going to look at is the PAFs that we make at Monty's and how they came about and show you what they do. Now, yes, they are all variants on the same thing, but I kind of think of it as like when you want to paint something green. Say you're painting a tree, and from afar, you just need green, right, for the leaves and stuff. But you dive in a bit closer, and then you don't just need one green. You need a few different greens to paint all your shades and stuff. And that's the beauty of the PAF. Because of all the inconsistencies when they were made, you end up with ones that are reading really hot or reading really cold, or magnets are this, that, and the other. Loads of inconsistencies. And the beauty is that then you get some that sound really, really good, some that sound really not good at all, plenty in the middle, some meh, some yes, and also, we're not all gonna like the same thing. So you find ones that speak to you. So for me, it's ones that sound like a big, fat single coil. Think of Telecaster on steroids, like an Arnold Schwarzenegger version of a Tele. That's the sound I like. So it's still crystal clear. It's got all that clarity, that bloom around the note, the harmonics, everything going, ugh. Anyway, little shivers. That, but in a humbucker with no noise. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, right? And you get others that sound more meaty, others that sound a little bit more delicate, and all the other shades. And that is where we're at. So at Monty's, we've got our originals, which are that big fat Tele on steroids, big cling, cling, all that kind of stuff. Don't know why he's made the noises. But anyway, it's got that, and then we've got the underspuns and the overspuns. And yes, not just to play on words, and no, it's not just one's got less wire, one's got more wire, although they do, but there's different magnets in there, the offset's different, there's different things that make up that recipe, and then get it where I want to get it. I've been really lucky and had access to loads of PAFs over the years. I mean, it's been 2000 I started in the guitar industry, and whether it's fixing the PAF itself or it's been in a guitar that's needs some work doing to it, it's in a collection that I'm working on or whatever, I've had a lot of them pass through my grubby mitts. Good ones, bad ones, lovely ones, amazing ones, and damn round dog shit ones. But you get to see what makes the good ones good and the bad ones bad. And that is equally as important as what's making the good ones good. And you get to see and hear the ones that sound really thick and all that kind of stuff. So the original PAFs, which were the first ones that we came out with, they are that Tele on steroids, as I said, that big, 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 like single coil, amazing thing. The underspuns are actually from a particular guitar. They were based off a Les Paul Custom, black Les Paul Custom that it's a freaking incredible guitar. So its neck shaved down, so it's quite slim, kind of like a 60s Strat kind of feel. And it's owned by a guy called Paul Stacey. I think it still is now. And he is an incredible guitarist and a music producer. And what he doesn't know about tone is kind of not worth knowing. That guitar was in my workshop when I was out the back of a music studio in Richmond in this little shed. And at that time I had my desk amp was this little Epiphone Junior, a 5-watt valve thing. And that used to start farting and distorting it like, put pretty much anything into it. I was plugged the Les Paul in, I was playing it, and it was super chimey, super clear, and just really articulate, and kind of, had this really nice, delicate thing going around the notes. And me being me, I took the back plate off, started taking some measurements, and, just checked things out, what was going on. And these things were super low. They were, really, really low. But what it gave you is especially with that small amp, it just let everything breathe and just sounded so open and great. I plugged it into a few other amps and it did the same thing. It was just, if you wanted headroom, this thing would give it to you. It was ultimate kind of chime machine, great for fingerstyle, that kind of stuff, but not ice picky. You'd think it would get that way, but it didn't at all, which is kind of bonkers. So that's what the underspuns are there for. They're there for not hitting your amp so hard. If you've got a guitar that might be a little bit on the dark side, it's a good way to go. They're sort of tapping into that. You can still make them drive, and they drive really, really well. Just a little bit softer on the attack. Then you've got the overspuns, which this particular set came from a 335, which was just like, oh, so good. It had this really nice warmth to it, but not muddy, and it still had the clarity. For me, it's all about just keeping that shimmer in your tone, so you can still cut through in the mix. If you can't cut through in the mix, you're lost, you're fucked, and we don't want that. You can't turn your amp up. You can't do that nowadays. So you need to be there for any frequency help you can get yourself in there. Then that's good. But having both something that's really powerful from a pickup point of view, that's really powerful, and with that in there, that's a good thing. And this 335 is just really nice and meaty, really like girthy, a good girth to it, and just really nice drivey rumble. Great for if you're playing into something that's, a little bit bigger. The amplifier-wise is a little bit bigger, especially if you're playing without, don't have to worry too much about track or other multiple instruments going on, so you've got more frequencies to play with. That's what they do. So they're a little bit more, punch your amp a little bit harder, get you into that drive zone a little bit quicker, and just a little bit more full in the mids, which is fucking lovely. Okay, so I've got this beautiful cream tea Crossfire here, which has their quick pickup changeover system in it, which is freaking killer. So I've got originals, some underspuns, some overspuns in here. So I'm going to play some things, switch those out, which will give you guys hopefully an idea of what they sound like. Now, I'm not a kind of blues player, and I don't do that stuff very well. So I'm just going to play it how I would play. If you need any more information or want to hear other stuff, there's some other bits on the internet. You can always get in contact, give us a call, come down, try them out, that kind of thing, if you're local. But everyone's welcome. Anyway, enough of me yabbering on. Let's give it a go. that's helped and given you a little bit more clarity as to what these three things can do for you. Yes, they do sound very PAF-like, and yes, they are similar, but we're painting with a finer paintbrush here. This is like your final 5 to 1% of stuff where you've got your amp dialed in, you've got your guitar dialed in, which actually, come to think of it, that's the most important thing. Before you start looking at any of this, make sure this is set up right. If your strings aren't moving as they should do, then this thing needs to see the string moving. It's the thing that turns the physical movement of your string into the start of your electronic signal. That's kind of important. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt from Monty's Guitars. Give us a like and a follow, and catch you on the next time.